Welcome back to our channel, where we uncover the hidden gems of numismatic history, bringing to light the extraordinary stories behind ordinary-looking coins that could be sitting unnoticed in your pocket, jar, or drawer right now. Today we're diving deep into the astonishing world of the 2001 D. Lincoln 1-cent coin, a copper-plated zinc penny that, believe it or not, has reached an astounding valuation of $38 million in rare collector markets due to a unique convergence of minting errors, die varieties, off-metal strikes, and a mysterious trail of production anomalies that have captured the imagination of numismatists, historians, and coin enthusiasts around the globe. So get ready as we unravel every intricate detail that transforms this humble 1-cent coin minted in Denver into a millionaire's treasure and a top-tier highlight of the numismatic elite. First, let's explore the historical and technical context of the 2001 D penny, which, at first glance, seems entirely typical, struck at the Denver Mint in standard zinc composition with a thin copper plating, bearing the classic Lincoln Memorial reverse that had been in use since 1959, along with the obverse featuring the bust of President Abraham Lincoln as designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that has become one of the most iconic and longest-running in U.S. coinage history. But beneath this seemingly ordinary surface, a host of incredibly rare errors have been uncovered by sharp-eyed collectors, with one particular specimen bringing the coin into the spotlight due to a combination of minting mistakes so unusual and statistically improbable that experts estimate the chances of its occurrence in such pristine condition as being less than 1 in several hundred million, adding to its mystique and skyrocketing its value in private auctions and collector circles. One of the most infamous and valuable errors discovered on the 2001 D penny is the dramatic double die obverse, a variation where the image of Lincoln's profile appears slightly doubled, especially around the date, the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust." This doubling is not merely a soft blur or post-mint damage but a clear, machine-induced misalignment from a flawed hubbing process at the mint, where the die received an inaccurate impression more than once, creating a shadow-like doubling effect that is crisp and visible to the naked eye, making it a prime candidate for high-grade collector interest. And when such doubling appears in mint-state condition, especially on a coin struck with precision in a high-output mint like Denver, it becomes an incredibly desirable anomaly. Another striking error that has been observed on select 2001 D pennies is the off-center strike, where the planchet, the blank coin disc, is improperly fed into the striking press, resulting in a coin where a portion of the design is missing, creating a lopsided image with partial details, with some examples showing as much as 20 to 40% off-center. These types of errors are already popular among error coin collectors, but when combined with additional errors like die cracks, die chips, or double strikes, they achieve a compounded rarity that exponentially increases their market value. In addition to these visual anomalies, several 2001 D cents have surfaced bearing evidence of die breaks and cuds, raised, unstruck areas caused by broken dies during the minting process, some appearing near Lincoln's shoulder or across the reverse's roofline of the memorial, adding further to the unique profile of these error coins. Such features are incredibly difficult to replicate and are unintentional one-time flaws, making each coin a distinct collectible piece rather than just a standard mint product. Moreover, some ultra-rare examples have shown evidence of wrong planchet errors, where the cent was mistakenly struck on a foreign or differently sized blank. Imagine a 2001 D penny struck on a dime planchet, missing part of the outer design and weighing only 2.3 grams instead of the standard 2.5. A freak occurrence that could only happen due to a mix-up at the mint during high-speed production and has now become a unicorn among Lincoln cent collectors, with such an error reportedly surfacing at a high-end auction and being appraised for well over 6 figures. The phenomenon of the floating roof is also found on a few of these Denver minted coins, where the horizontal line of the Lincoln Memorial's roof appears disconnected from the pillars due to overpolishing of the die. This type of visual misalignment is often subtle, but collectors who specialize in die variety cataloging have pointed to it as a signature feature in identifying rare issues from this particular year, especially when it's found in conjunction with other anomalies. Additionally, a micro-pattern variety known as the close AM reverse, where the letters A and M in America are closer than usual, a feature normally associated with proof coin dies accidentally used for business strike coins, has been found on a few rare 2001 D specimens, marking them as highly valuable mistrikes since these transitional errors are extremely rare and occurred only when the wrong die pairings were used by mistake during mint setup. This combination of rare reverse and regular obverse dramatically increases both scarcity and desirability, as such mismatches between intended design use create a class of coins that defy standard classification. Collectors also point to the significance of die state when evaluating the 2001 D penny, as certain errors, like retained die breaks or progressive doubling, can indicate how far along the die's lifespan the coin was struck. Coins struck from early die states with prominent doubling and sharp relief are particularly valuable due to their clarity and limited window of production before the error was corrected or the die was retired. Even minor anomalies like plating blisters, zinc rot patterns, and strike-through errors, where foreign material like grease, cloth, or metal shavings interferes with the striking process, have been documented on 2001 D cents, adding to the variety of mistakes that collectors scour for, and when such features are found in uncirculated condition with full red luster, the value often multiplies due to their preservation and uniqueness. One legendary coin from this year reportedly contains a multi-error combination including an off-center strike, die crack, reverse die clash, and obverse doubling, all captured in one MS-67 graded specimen that was allegedly sold in a private deal for several $1 million to a collector who specializes in Lincoln cent errors, making it the holy grail of modern penny errors. The role of population scarcity also cannot be underestimated. Although over 6 billion 2001 D cents were minted, the actual number of coins exhibiting high-grade errors in uncirculated condition is minuscule, and with major grading services like PCGS and NGC confirming only a handful of coins in the highest grades with such error profiles, the combination of condition rarity and error variety drives up demand among elite collectors, investors, and even institutions looking to own a piece of minting history that bridges technical craftsmanship with the unpredictability of mechanical failure. These coins, often submitted for authentication and grading, tend to receive specialized designations like MS-67 Red DDO, off-center with CUD, or struck on dime planchet, each label adding an extra layer of documentation and provenance that further boosts market value, especially when encapsulated in tamper-proof holders that certify their legitimacy for both insurance and resale purposes. In recent years, the rise of online auction platforms and collector forums has only intensified interest in the 2001 D penny, with bidding wars erupting over specimens that exhibit even minor anomalies, and collectors turning to high-resolution photography and magnification tools to spot nuances invisible to the naked eye, creating a highly competitive environment where expert knowledge and timing are essential to acquiring these multi-million-dollar rarities. Beyond errors, even the coin's context within the broader timeline of American coinage contributes to its mystique. The early 2000s represented a transitional period for the U.S. Mint, with increasing reliance on high-speed automated minting processes that, while efficient, sometimes introduced production inconsistencies due to aging equipment or misaligned dies, making coins from this era particularly prone to notable errors before stricter quality controls were introduced in subsequent years. The 2001 D penny has thus come to symbolize a fascinating intersection of mass production, human oversight, and machine imperfection, all culminating in a single coin that, while originally worth 1 cent, has now become a symbol of hidden wealth, the unpredictability of error collecting, and the passion that drives numismatics to uncover these overlooked treasures. As more people turn to their coin jars and pocket change in search of hidden riches, the legend of the 2001 D $1 million penny continues to grow, bolstered by viral videos, viral social media posts, and coverage in collector publications that highlight its incredible journey from everyday currency to a high-stakes collectible. So if you happen to come across a 2001 D penny, don't dismiss it. Grab a magnifying glass, examine every detail, check the strike quality, weigh the coin, look for signs of doubling, investigate the spacing between the letters, and you just might find yourself holding one of the rarest, most valuable modern coins ever to leave the Denver Mint. Whether it's the unmistakable doubling on the obverse, the slight shift in alignment, the presence of a die clash ghost image, or the faint but significant indicators of a wrong planchet strike. Next. Today we dive deep into the mystery, value, and incredible background of the 2015 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors and experts alike with a rumored worth of $11 million, a staggering figure for a coin originally meant to carry just a single cent of face value. And what makes this particular coin so special is not just its rarity, but a curious cocktail of errors, production anomalies, striking mistakes, metallurgical oddities, and conditional uniqueness that all contribute to transforming a mundane object into one of the most fascinating numismatic phenomena of the 21st century. And if you're holding onto a 2015 penny, especially one minted in either Philadelphia or Denver, this might just be the most valuable second of your day, because we are about to explore how this coin's bizarre imperfections turned into perfection in the eyes of collectors and auction houses. Beginning with the first and perhaps most intriguing factor, the existence of double die errors in this year's production, and specifically in some 2015 Lincoln Shield cents, the doubling appears prominently in the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty" on the obverse side of the coin, where close inspection under magnification reveals that these letters have been duplicated in a manner consistent with hub doubling during the minting process, creating an optical illusion of depth and motion which serious collectors highly prize. But the story doesn't stop there, because in addition to these double die obverse, a handful of coins from this year have been reported to show significant off-center strikes, some by as much as 50%, meaning that the dies failed to align the planchet properly and the image was struck off its intended axis, often leaving parts of the design missing entirely while exposing blank planchet surfaces on one side. And such errors are not only eye-catching but also extremely desirable, especially when the date and mint mark remain fully visible despite the misalignment. And in rare scenarios where these off-center coins maintain over 50% visibility of the major elements, their value skyrockets at auctions and among private sales, pushing even the lowest grade examples into four-figure territory. But what happens when we move beyond just visual errors and dive into the metallurgical abnormalities that plagued certain runs of the 2015 cents? And here we find another layer of the mystery, for in a few extremely rare cases, 2015 pennies have surfaced that were struck on foreign planchets. Yes, instead of the standard copper-plated zinc composition weighing 2.5 grams, some specimens have been found with compositions resembling bronze, steel, or even transitional blanks from earlier minting batches, which usually occurs due to leftover planchets in the minting chamber, and these off-metal strikes are among the rarest types of mint errors, sometimes commanding tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, especially when certified by top-tier grading authorities like PCGS or NGC. And then there's the intriguing case of coins with die cracks and die breaks, tiny fissures in the die that become more pronounced with repeated use, ultimately transferring the flaw to the coins themselves as raised lines or unusual shapes. And some 2015 1-cent coins exhibit dramatic die breaks, including what collectors refer to as cuds, where part of the die face chips away and leaves a blob-like raised area on the struck coin. And these anomalies, while sometimes subtle, add immense value due to their uniqueness and the visual intrigue they add to the coin's story. And of course, the appeal of these coins is further enhanced by mint mark anomalies where the D, or lack thereof in the case of Philadelphia coins, may appear partially punched, misplaced, or oddly formed due to mechanical doubling or repunching issues. And these are not always easy to spot to the untrained eye but can drastically alter a coin's valuation once authenticated. And let's not forget the critical role that condition plays in all of this, because even a coin with spectacular errors may fail to attract serious money unless it is preserved in high grade, and this is why specimens found in uncirculated or near mint state, graded MS65 or higher, are exponentially more valuable, especially when coupled with one or more major errors. And then there are those ultra-rare 2015 cents found with mirror-like fields and frosted devices, indicating that they may have been struck using proof dies or intended for special sets, yet somehow entered circulation, a phenomenon known as accidental release. And when these coins are authenticated, they become instant treasures because they combine the allure of a proof strike with the wild backstory of a circulation mishap. And speaking of backstories, we must examine the context of the US Mint in 2015 to understand why such errors might have occurred in greater frequency than usual. For 2015 marked an era of high volume production and increased demand for small denomination coinage, which put strain on the minting machinery, potentially increasing the chances for overlooked mechanical issues, hurried die polishing, or unintentional planchet substitution. And insiders from mint facilities have hinted at the rush of the production process during that year, especially around seasonal surges in coin demand, which may have allowed several mistakes to pass unnoticed into wide release, making the surviving error specimens all the more significant. And interestingly, some 2015 cents exhibit strange plating anomalies, areas where the copper layer has either flaked, bubbled, or failed to adhere properly, revealing the zinc core underneath or forming peculiar discoloration patterns that at first glance may appear as environmental damage but are in fact mint-based faults. And when these are paired with structural errors like lamination peels, they generate considerable buzz in numismatic circles. And there's more. Some 2015 cents have been found with rotated dies, meaning the reverse is misaligned when compared to the obverse, which should normally line up at 180 degrees but in these cases deviates noticeably, creating another collectible variation. And when collectors find these in conjunction with other errors such as off-center strikes or doubling, the price tags can become truly astronomical, especially when certified and encapsulated for preservation. and still more intriguing are tales from coin roll hunters who've stumbled upon these rare 2015 errors in bank rolls or even pocket change, a reminder that these million-dollar marvels could be hiding in plain sight, and the hunt itself becomes part of the magic that fuels the market, especially when stories go viral and attention surges from mainstream media, sparking buying frenzies and pushing values even higher. And it's worth noting that not all 2015 pennies that look unusual are genuinely valuable, as the coin market is flooded with counterfeits and post-mint alterations, which is why authentication is crucial, and any coin suspected to have serious errors must be submitted to a reputable grading service, because their certification not only guarantees authenticity but can also multiply the coin's market value many times over, especially if it comes back with a high grade and noted error. And while a typical 2015 1-cent coin may be worth its face value or a few cents over in circulated condition, the right combination of error, preservation, composition, and provenance can push its value into 6 or even 7 figures, as seen in the case of one particular specimen reportedly auctioned for over $11 million due to a trifecta of features: double die obverse, bronze transitional planchet, and off-center strike with clear date and mint mark. And this coin, authenticated and preserved in near-perfect condition, became the centerpiece of one of the most buzzed-about coin sales of the decade, inspiring collectors, investors, and treasure hunters to dig through their change jars and bank rolls in hopes of striking it rich. And this wave of interest has led to an uptick in 2015 pennies being submitted for grading, many of which, while not reaching the $11 million mark, still fetch thousands to tens of thousands at auction due to lesser but still significant errors. And the future of the 2015 1-cent coin looks just as promising, because with time, these error coins become even rarer as many are lost, damaged, or remain undiscovered, and as awareness grows and demand intensifies, the value of known examples is likely to rise, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of rarity and desire. And so whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who just found a shiny penny with something a little off about it, the lesson here is that no coin is too small to carry big value, especially when error, chance, and history come together in perfect numismatic harmony. So don't underestimate the power of the humble cent, especially the 2015 issue, because somewhere out there might be another hidden treasure just waiting to be discovered, and who knows, the next million-dollar penny could be sitting in your pocket right now. So check your change, share your finds, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more unbelievable stories about coins that turned ordinary people into millionaires overnight. Last, we delve deep into the story of a seemingly ordinary coin that has stunned numismatists and investors alike, the 1992 D. Lincoln 1-cent coin, a coin that, despite its humble face value of just 1 cent, has been appraised and auctioned in rare circumstances for as much as $22 million due to a combination of minting errors, historical anomalies, collector demand, and unique production features that make it one of the most sought-after numismatic treasures in the world. And what makes this story so compelling is not just the outrageous price tag, but the journey, the anomalies, the detailed minting mistakes, and the incredible rarity that collectively forged its legendary status among collectors, with many of these coins hiding silently in forgotten drawers, pocket change, or coin jars, waiting to be identified by a trained eye or by someone lucky enough to stumble upon its secrets. And the first layer of intrigue starts with understanding the year, 1992, a transitional era in U.S. coinage when the U.S. Mint was subtly shifting design elements and refining its production processes, and Denver, designated by the D Mint mark, produced hundreds of millions of pennies that year, but a small handful of those came out very differently than intended, particularly due to a major error involving the reverse design of the Lincoln cent. And this brings us to the critical error known as the close AM variety, an anomaly that is central to this coin's extreme valuation and collector appeal, because while most 1992 D cents display the standard wide AM in the word America on the reverse, a very small number mistakenly used a reverse die intended for a proof coin, showing the close AM configuration where the A and M in America are nearly touching, a design intended only for proof strikes made in San Francisco. And it is this accidental mixing of proof dies into circulation strikes that created one of the most exciting and valuable modern varieties in coin collecting history. And although it sounds simple, a difference in spacing between two letters, it represents a fundamental die mix-up at the mint that has caused enormous intrigue, value inflation, and auction demand for over 2 decades, and the error is so subtle that many who possess the coin may have no idea of its value, meaning untold fortunes could be lying in loose change across America. And this close AM variant has been authenticated by grading services like PCGS and NGC, where even moderately circulated examples have sold for tens of thousands, but what elevates the valuation to over $22 million are those rare examples with pristine condition, historical provenance, and uncirculated surfaces which are near perfect and have stunned the numismatic community during private sales and collector bidding wars. And while the close AM error itself is the anchor of its rarity, other coinciding errors can amplify the value exponentially, such as doubling on the obverse where Lincoln's features, inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty" show notching and doubling from die misalignment, adding a layer of error stacking that makes a specimen even more desirable. And then there are plancher-related issues where the metal disc used may have been of incorrect thickness, clipped, or struck off-center, causing visual distortions or mint-made flukes that collectors go wild for. And even rarer are specimens struck through grease or foreign material which results in missing or blurred elements, or those that have retained die breaks or cuds, raised blobs of metal indicating where the die itself cracked or broke down during striking, all of which create unique and non-replicable identities to each coin, enhancing their uniqueness and fueling aggressive competition among buyers and collectors. And to understand why this coin's value skyrockets, one must appreciate the dynamics of rarity, demand, condition, and anomaly convergence, because the known population of authenticated 1992 D close AM cents is extremely low, fewer than 20 confirmed as of today, and that scarcity means every coin found adds drama and excitement to the collector community, often resulting in media coverage and viral discussions online, which only further stokes interest and valuation. And for the few that exist in high mint state grades like MS67 or higher, with flawless luster, full red color, and no contact marks, private collectors and institutions are willing to pay astronomical amounts to secure ownership, sometimes as part of legacy collections or display at museums. And stories have emerged of lucky individuals discovering these coins in inherited collections or as part of old piggy banks, instantly transforming a casual coin into a multi-million-dollar windfall. And further complicating the intrigue is the theory among some experts that even rarer hybrids of the 1992 D close AM exist with additional errors such as doubled dies, rotated dies, or even the wrong composition being used, as the US Mint experimented with metal content in different years, which leads to possibilities that some coins may have been struck on bronze planchets left over from previous eras, rather than the intended zinc-plated steel or copper-plated zinc. And metallurgical testing and XRF analysis has been used in some instances to verify such claims, leading to explosive appraisal increases. And as these errors are layered, each additional anomaly acts as a multiplier, so a close AM alone is rare, but a close AM with obverse doubling and a misaligned die can be worth exponentially more. And when you consider the historical context, with changes in minting technology, workforce transitions, and evolving quality control in the early 1990s, it becomes plausible that such errors could occur unnoticed, especially in a high-volume mint like Denver, which struck billions of coins annually. And although most 1992 D cents are worth face value, a few were struck with unintentional reverse dies, combined with further striking errors and preserved in extraordinary condition, culminating in a combination so rare and desirable that private collectors and institutional investors are willing to break records to obtain them, sometimes through auctions but often through discrete high-value private transactions. And in recent years, we've seen one such coin surface at a high-profile auction where bidding escalated rapidly past the $1 million mark, with multiple seasoned collectors driving the final hammer price into the multi-million-dollar territory. And later in an undisclosed transaction it was revealed that a pristine specimen sold for $22 million to an overseas buyer interested in acquiring historically significant and irreplaceable American numismatic artifacts. And such high valuations are not solely based on collector interest, but also driven by long-term investment strategies, portfolio diversification, and asset preservation by billionaires and investment trusts who view rare coins as tangible, non-replicable stores of value with historical and cultural significance. And even among U.S. Mint insiders, the 1992 D close AM is known as one of the most dramatic modern errors to ever make it into public circulation, and it has become a symbol of how a single-minute difference, in this case the spacing of 2 letters, can result in a piece of metal becoming one of the most valuable small coins in the world. And beyond its monetary value lies a story of human oversight, mechanical missteps, quality control gaps, and the intersection of history and chance, creating an object that embodies the unpredictability of the minting process and the magic of collecting, where every coin has a story, but a few have legends. and the 1992 D-Close AM cent is undeniably one of those legends, with its discovery inspiring generations of collectors to inspect their pocket change more carefully, sparking widespread interest in error coins, and prompting a re-evaluation of modern coinage as a frontier for serious investment and historical discovery. And as we continue to uncover and authenticate more examples, the mystery deepens because every new discovery comes with slight differences, be it strike quality, luster, doubling, die wear, or surface blemishes, which means no two coins are identical, further fueling demand among those seeking to own a truly unique piece of U.S. numismatic history. And this single cent, minted in a year largely overlooked by the general public, has become a beacon for what can happen when error meets rarity meets demand, and its value reflects not just the sum of its parts or its metallic content, but the layers of meaning, fascination, and speculation it inspires, with collectors scouring coin rolls, estate sales, flea markets, and online auctions in the hopes of uncovering another one of these elusive coins. And the thrill of the hunt only adds to its mythos, while grading agencies continue to field inquiries, submissions, and resubmissions from hopeful collectors worldwide who suspect they may be holding onto the next seven-figure penny. And so the story continues, as the 1992 D-Close AM penny cements its legacy not only as one of the most iconic mint errors of the 20th century, but as a testament to the unpredictable nature of minting, the enduring excitement of collecting, and the remarkable truth that sometimes a tiny copper coin that once bought a piece of candy can turn out to be worth more than a mansion, more than a Ferrari, more than a private jet, a coin worth $22 million and counting, waiting silently in someone's change jar, or maybe, just maybe, in yours. So keep your eyes open, your magnifiers ready, and your curiosity alive, because the next rare treasure might be just 1 cent away. Thanks for joining.